My name is Brianna Green. I'm a senior studying international affairs, and today I'll be talking to you about tribal issues in emergency management. The purpose of this is to get a general idea of current priority issues, and I'll also explain what the NCAI is, as well as what their importance and their relationship with emergency management. The National Congress of American Indians is the acronym for NCAI. What they did is they were a rights organization. They also identify as a nonprofit organization, and they combined American Indians as well as Alaska Native indigenous persons. They were founded in 1944 in response to termination and assimilation policies that the United States government forced upon their government, or tribal governments. The background of the organization consists of traditionally Indian peoples of America's continent. They rarely joined together or crossed tribal lines, and what this produced was different languages and cultural groups. So the NCAI formed to unite all tribes in a more peaceful and bureaucratic relationship with the United States government. Their purpose was to be organized as a representative Congress based upon tribal population. It serves to develop consensus, national priority issues that impact tribal sovereignty. This just gives you a general idea of what the organization was about. And their tribal government is often the only government present in rural and isolate locations. So now I'm just going to talk about their relationship with emergency management. And as I said, they're the only government in their tribal area, and they serve as first and oftentimes the only law enforcement authority and emergency responders to hundreds of native and non-native communities. The problem is, or one of their priority issues in these tribal areas, is only a state governor can request a presidential disaster declaration, which means tribal governments have to seek approval from a governor as written in the Stafford Act, which we learned about earlier in this class. This creates a loss of valuable response time for tribes seeking federal assistance. NCAI has made this a priority issue in emergency management. They reported last year alone tribes experienced major catastrophic events resulting in multi-million-dollar losses in tribal government infrastructure and personal property, from delay responses time and sometimes receive no response at all. What efforts are being made by the NCAI to change this? The bill H.R. 1953, it wasn't passed in the Senate, but it was implemented by the Senator Renault in 2011. He's a representative from Virginia. After his effort in 2011, the Obama administration and FEMA supported the NCAI efforts and Senator Rehall's attempt. The president of NCAI was quoted as saying, "The support of the administration and FEMA for legislative change recognizes not only the sovereignty of tribal nations, but also acknowledges the critical role tribes play in network of emergency response and disaster relief at national and local level." Other things that the NCAI has done is they've passed Resolution SAC 12-072. This resolution was titled "Support All Legislative Efforts by the U.S. Congress to Amend Stafford Act to Allow the Tribal Government to Request Disaster Declarations Directly from the President of the United States." Thus, the title pretty much summarizes what the bill was trying to do, was just to support any government amendment to the Stafford Act. And the resolution was adopted in 2012 by the NCAI in the Sacramento hearing. As far as current things that the tribe is trying to do, it was, in a quick summary, the president of the organization had written a letter to his representative, to Craig Fugate, who is the administrator of FEMA, and addressed the NCAI Executive Council in the winter session of 2012. And in a quick summary of this letter, the president was asking from Fugate stressing the importance of independence from state government and the request of a presidential disaster declaration. And this was the last effort made by the NCAI in this policy and amend the Stafford Act that my research could find. So now where the tribes sit is they wait in anticipation for the next spring meeting and addressing the presidential disaster declaration movement, and hopefully end this current year, can effectively amend the Stafford Act. At this point, I would just like to thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to addressing any questions, comments, or concerns. And just in a concluding statement, I hope that this presentation brought clarification between the tribal issues and the priority issues of the presidential declaration tied to state governments as they seek to gain independence and sovereignty from that tie. Like I said, thanks for your time and consideration. Have a great day.